Hey, real quick before we dive into the Hardcore Closer podcast, if you haven't already, jump over to hardcorecloser.com, sign up, and join over 20,000 sales professionals from around the world and receive free hardcore sales training every week after week that will help you step your game up. Now, buckle up, closers. Here's Ryan. Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hardcore Closer podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Stewman, founder of hardcorecloser.com. And listen, this podcast is all about helping you close more deals, get higher gross commissions, help more people, right? Because listen, as salespeople, here's what we do, right? It's not about just selling people, make commission. Yeah, that's awesome. But we help people, right? Like our products solve a problem and nobody wants to be like left with their problems, right? So we have to look at ourselves like we're the therapists of the world that are actually solving problems instead of prescribing pills, right? So congratulate yourself. Listen, it doesn't matter if you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, training, personal training, supplements. It doesn't matter, right? This podcast is dedicated to helping everybody in the sales community generate leads, talk about real world issues, talk about things that only alpha males and alpha females know about, that like the losers and the whiners and all the pussies and everything else can't even keep up with. And this episode is going to be no fucking exception when it comes to that, right? But I just want you to think, as a salesperson, really what you are in one word besides salesperson is a leader, right? You're changing the world. You're leading the way, solving problems. I want you to be proud of that. So, hey, welcome to episode 8 of the Hardcore Closer podcast. And first, I just want to say thanks to everybody for all the reviews. You know, if you haven't gone over to iTunes already and in the podcast and give me a review and rated this and everything, do that. Quit being lazy, right? Nobody likes lazy fucks. We're alphas. We take care of each other. But for those of you that have got off your ass and went and reviewed this and helped, I appreciate that. Within the first week of releasing, we were in the top 50 business podcast on iTunes. So that's pretty exciting. Beat out a lot of legendary people, actually. So appreciate you guys sharing this, watching the replays. I see a lot of you get on the website, on the blog, hardcorecloser.com, and watch the replays on video too. So I just appreciate that. Continue to give us raving reviews, and I'll continue to crank out some badass motherfucking content. So, all right, with that being said, let's get into the content of this episode. It's no secret that 8 years ago, right now, as I look out the window of the penthouse here, it's raining, right? And in 2007, it was one of the rainiest years on record until last year here in Texas. Matter of fact, 2007 was the last year that it really rained in Texas until last year. Not that we're here to talk about the weather, but 8 years ago in Texas, I was sitting in a federal prison, right? It's no secret. Everybody knows my story is the penitentiary, the penthouse, subterranean to the top, right? But 8 years ago, I was sitting in prison for the fucking second time, right? Like I am a prolific, I've said this on this show many times, I'm a prolific mistake maker. And so I'm sitting in prison and I'm waiting in line. Remember, I'll never forget this day. It was one of the most miserable days of my life, oddly enough, because of my OCD and fucking germophobia and all this other shit that I got, right? So I'm standing in line and they used to make us line up outside this chow hall, right? There's like, it looked like a dorm. The building was built in the late 1800s, right? It's all this old red brick buildings, barbed wire and razor wire all around it. And you have like individual dorm rooms, right? And it are individual buildings, and then each individual building's dorm rooms. And then you have like this courtyard. So you have to leave your dorm room, leave the building, go across the courtyard. And then one of the other buildings is the chow hall, right? I'm just trying to set the tone here. Old ass building, no air conditioning, hot as fuck. It's March. It's rainy as hell. It's muggy as hell. It hadn't got hot. Also, 2007 and 8 were some of the coolest years. Thanks a lot, global warming. It's climate change, right? But some of the coolest years in Texas, too. If you know anything about Texas heat, it's fucking hot and humid. And so all this rain, and let's say 85, 90-degree heat, right? Which is still pretty cool, but it was super muggy. And anytime it's super muggy and you have 6,000 people or however many people, I think it was 1,500 people at this particular unit, altogether, you attract massive amounts of mosquitoes. Dude, you're talking about people with hepatitis, people with AIDS, and all these fucking mosquitoes, man. It's like going to Magic Johnson's fucking barbecue and he fucking screw off the top of a fucking bottle of mosquitoes and they all land on him and then take off after you. It's fucking scary, right? Like, it's totally scary. That may be an inappropriate reference, but fuck it, I don't care. So I'm sitting out there and I'm getting bit by these mosquitoes like 40, 50 times a day, right? I look like I've been fucking like, dude, I look like I got the mumps. There's fucking lumps all over my arms. There's nothing I can do. They sell like bug repellent in the commissary, but like the bug repellent was really more like a bug attractant because it did not fucking work, right? And like I was on the mow team, right? I had to mow for a couple of weeks. I quit this job promptly, but I had to mow the yard at the prison compound, right? And every time I would push the mower, and yeah, I've had to push a mower. It sucked, right? So every time I pushed the mower, dude, it would just release droves of these fucking mosquitoes. It was like one of the most, I hate bugs, right? It's one of the most miserable times in my life. And I tell you that because I use that moment as an anchor, right? Like, fuck that shit. No matter how bad things are, no matter how bad things get, no matter how many times I get turned down for a lease on a house because I'm a felon, no matter how many times I got to do this, jump through that hook, somebody talks shit about me, somebody hates on me, somebody steals contacts, whatever the case, at least I'm not sweating my ass off around a bunch of fucking people with diseases that are fucking losers, that I'm getting fucking stung left and right by mosquitoes, right? Like, dude, it was just a fucking miserable time. So the reason why I tell you that is that's one of the things that I've learned from prison. And what I want to share with you today are the habits that I created from going to prison, right? I mean, this is something that, you know, it's like sex. Nobody really wants to talk about it, right? Until they're behind closed doors. But I'm going to bring it out here to the front line because, listen, you don't have to admit anything. You don't have to send me a message or anything like that. But like, most of us know that we've been in some trouble. And those of us that aren't felons know that we just got away with shit, right? It was just about being at the wrong place, the wrong time is what makes you a felon, right? Because we all do bad shit. It's in human nature, right? It's like, and you know what? If you think about it, I think it's 1 in 33 people have been on probation or in prison. So like, we're not alone. And so I'm just going to address some things today that I learned while I was in prison that I've carried over to the business world, which has been, you know, essentially a part of what's helped me make it. So let's talk about that for a second. Hey, yo. Oh, by the way, you know, Robert, you there, man?
Yeah, man. What up?
So we talked about you last week, right? And somebody was on the reviews. They said, hey, man, you guys are hilarious. You're like all high energy and everything else. And your boy Robert over there, he's like low energy. And you guys are like the odd couple together, right? Oh, man. And I think it's funny, man, but it works well for us, right? Like, you get to slow everybody down while I'm trying to rush them through everything. But they it's like, do you tell your boy Robert, there's a couple people, right? But I dig it, man. I like how we're like the opposites of each other, right? So like, you know, I'm over here just spitting out words left and right. And you're like the technical, analytical, like smart dude in the equation, right?
Oh, wow, man. I must got everybody fooled then. I sit back with the mic off half the time and just sit there and laugh, and because nobody can hear me. Like that Magic Johnson bit had me dying over here. Where's the Magic Johnson with the mosquitoes?
Well, you know, we really are like a complete opposite, like, but yet a match. Like, you have a northern accent, I have a southern accent, right? Like, I'm all high energy. You're just like always like just in the background chilling. Like, it's a good matchup, but it's like for the audience, they get a mixture of both, right? Obviously more me, but they get a good mixture of both. They're like, oh, cool, Stewman, shut up for a minute so this other guy can take us down to a normal pace.
So the other guy can put us to sleep.
To put us to sleep, right? It's all that you're in Colorado? No, you're up north. That's right. I was gonna say it's all that legal weed y'all got over there. But they don't have legal weed in your state, do they?
Nope, not even medically yet where I live. They're working on that.
Just like Texas. So, well, speaking of weed, right? Drugs, that's what got me into prison. So let's talk about some things that some habits that I created while I was in prison. So the first thing is I just assumed everybody was out to get me. And I lived the first 19 years of my life thinking that, you know, everybody was on my team. You know, when I got arrested, I didn't think the cops were really going to send me to jail. I thought, it's like, dude, I thought everybody was cool, right? And then I found out the hard way that everybody wasn't cool. The first day that I was on this place called the Gurney unit, it was like a transfer unit. I was there for a couple of weeks until they sent me to a more permanent place. The first night there, I was just having a conversation with somebody all night long, right? You know, I was up, I was, you know, worried and everything else. The next day, the same dude that I kept all night talking, man, he pretty much attacked me. You know what I mean? I got in a fight with the guy. I'd like to say that I fucking won. That wasn't the case. This dude had been locked up for a long time. He had experience, yo. And he was a lot bigger than me. I was like a 120-pound fucking kid, right? And so, you know, I had to learn this lesson. Then, you know, another time I had to talk my way out of fighting with people, right? And because there's, you know, a lot of big dudes. And it took me probably a couple of months, man, to realize when I was in prison that, like, most people would rather fuck you than be your friend, right? I want you to think about that for a second. A lot of people say, oh, no, man, you can't assume everybody's out to get you. And you can't assume everybody's got out to get you. What you can assume is everybody has ulterior motives and everybody don't want from you what they say they want from you. You know, and you think, damn, that's like a negative way of thinking about things. But listen, man, you know, even in sales, when your clients come to you and they want a home, they don't want a mortgage, right? If they could reveal that you're not what they want, if they could go around you, they have ulterior motives, right? To use you to get that money, to get the house. The truth is they don't want you. They have ulterior motives. Now, I'm not telling you to think negatively about your clients or anything else, but JV partners, business partners, everybody has ulterior motives. You have ulterior motives. You and I, we're part of that, everybody. And so the best thing I do is I just assume everybody's out to fuck me somehow until they prove differently. I've gotten pretty good at it. It's definitely something that I've struggled with, but at the same time, it's kept me from getting in a lot of dangerous situations. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, dude hits me up on Facebook talking about how he can help me and how he can, review my funnels. And I'm like, review my funnels, dude. I work with Russell Brunson, but whatever, right? And review my funnels and help me out. And he's like, by the way, you can give me a comp login to your program too. That'll be cool. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? I don't even know this dude. He hits me up out of nowhere and sort of insults me that my funnels don't work, right? Which obviously we're, on track to do about 3 million this year. So they're fucking working somewhere. He's probably making 40 grand a year, right? That's always those fucking type of people. So I went to his friends list and I looked him up because I assume he's trying to fuck me somehow, right? So I went to his friends list, spent a few minutes, saw that we were like friends with 200 people. Some of them like, big time marketers and really close friends of mine that I know personally. So I sent 4 or 5 people, copy and paste a picture of the dude and a message going, hey, do you know this guy? And 4 out of the 5 people all came back and go, yeah, man, he's always hitting us up for free shit. And that's why I asked, right? Because I assumed that this guy was just out to fuck me, right? Like, could he really help me with funnels? Is he somebody fucking important? Because offering free help and you're somebody that's fucking a legend, it happens sometimes, but I'm going to look you up because I'm just going to assume that you're fucking doing some dumb shit, that you're kangarooing, right? That's what everybody basically said. Dude's fucking kangaroo. Most of them said, man, you know what? Let me look back to the last time I talked to him. And they all came back and they're like, dude, he hit me up for the same shit, right? And let that be a lesson to everybody. Like, we talk, if you do dumb shit, we talk about you, right? We let the community know that you do dumb shit. Just like if you have a shitty client or shitty real estate agent or shitty referral partner, you tell the other people in your office that they're a shitty referral partner too. Well, like, us, like the little clique here on the internet marketing world, right? We talk, right? We say who's legit and who's not, right? Because you only want to surround yourself with legit people. Last thing you want to do is prop somebody up and say how awesome they are and then find out they're a fraud, right? So just know that we talk. But there you go. Again, like I just assume that everybody's out to get me. And it's really helped me a whole lot until they prove otherwise. It's helped me stop and not create a whole lot of relationships. It's helped me be able to cut ties really quick because oftentimes we'll hold on to relationships or we'll hold on to people for longer than we should, right? Like people in abusive relationships, physically, mentally, people that go through all, like they hate where they work. Like we'll hold on to stuff because we're scared of letting go, right? So I just let go quick. I do the exact opposite of everybody else. Shit gets weird with me, I just let go quick. And that's because I just assume everybody's out. So let's talk about the second habit. And this one's a little bit more positive. We just want to get the first one out of the way for you. But the second habit that I created from going to prison was getting on a schedule. And I still live and die by schedule. I mean, this podcast is on a specific schedule, right? We had to schedule it on my calendar in order to make it happen. And every day I look at the calendar on my phone and I live and die by it religiously, right? And so before I went to prison the first time, I didn't have like any kind of schedule. I was like you. Or anybody, I'm not you, like I was like anybody else, like I woke up at 10 a.m. I did whatever the hell I needed to do. I went to work, that kind of shit, right? But once I went to prison, they put you on a schedule, and if you don't get yourself on a schedule and a routine, you won't be able to do your time. You think about it, 4:30 in the morning comes breakfast. After 4:30, go back, take a nap for an hour, then go to work for the day. The afternoon, go lift weights, then go shoot basketball, then watch a TV show, then go to sleep, then work, then repeat, right? And so I got on a schedule and I was used to being told what to do. Well, obviously, when you get out here in the free world, nobody's telling you what to do unless you got a mentor or coach or something like that, and or you ask somebody or a boss or whatever. And I was in a position where nobody's really telling me what to do, so I just had a calendar tell me what to do. It's like, hello, future self, tell past self what to do. So basically, I just fill up my calendar. Anytime somebody wants to talk to me, anytime I need to do a task, schedule time for making products, schedule time for posts, whatever the case may be, like I just make sure that's on my schedule. And now my calendar dictates how I do my time. Right? But I do my time. Time doesn't do me. That's important. That's why I'm creating this schedule and sticking to it every single day, is because I'm doing my time. Right? I'm watching the episode of Billions the other day, and they're talking about, like, how's Axelrod deal with his time? He's a multi-billionaire hedge fund owner, right? And he's like, how does Axelrod deal with his time? He's like, time revolves around him. He doesn't revolve around time. And creating a schedule, that's exactly what happens. Right? Time revolve. You do your time. You control your time with the schedule. Dude, that is huge. So many people can't get things finished. We have entrepreneurial ADD, right? Like we'll start one project, start another project, run out of time, not schedule it properly, and not finish any of them. Now we got 3 half-assed projects instead of 1 full-fledged project. But if you had a calendar and a schedule and you stuck to it, you'd be able to finish the program. Yesterday, I finished all the content for my program, Phone Funnels. You can check it out, phonefunnels.co, phonefunnels.co. You can check it out. It's live. Get it, buy it. You'll love it. It's $997. It'll be the best fucking program. It's so futuristic. It's unreal. We're still going to add some future content to it as well. We're going to do LinkedIn ads and YouTube ads, all sorts of mobile shit that we still got to add to. It's probably going to end up being around 60 trainings altogether when it's said and done. The reason why I say that is yesterday when I made that product, I blocked out the entire day to make sure that I shot all the videos. I did all the work, and I blocked out that day. I told my sales team, don't fucking call me. Don't send me chat messages. Don't talk to me. Don't ask me about this, that, or the other. And fucking put all the work in yesterday and got the whole program done in one day, right? It was a lot of work. It was a long day. I started about 5:30 in the morning and finished at about 4:30 in the afternoon. That's a lot when you're recording and high energy and everything else. Trust me. It takes a lot of high energy even to do this podcast, right? So the reason why I say that is I used to get that whole program knocked out because I scheduled it. When I teach people to write a book in a month, right? The reason why they're able to do that is I schedule them out properly. And speaking of getting on a schedule, one of the first things I mentioned was that, waking up at 4:30 a.m. for breakfast became a habit, right? And still today, I wake up, 4:30 or 5:30 without an alarm pretty much every day. So like the third habit that I created in prison was waking up early. And, if you do anything for 21 days in a row, they say it becomes a habit, right? Well, so I did this for 600 days. So, I mean, it's just like, it's ingrained in me. It's prolific at this point. 4:30 every morning for 600 days. Think about that for a second. Like the weight of getting that down. If you lift weights every day for 600 days, if you do anything, make a sale a day for 600 days, like if you do anything straight for 600 days, that shit's ingrained in your DNA. We can literally, like guys like the Bulletproof Coffee guys, Dave Asprey, like we can literally rewire ourselves, right? Anything that we've done, we can undo. Again, going back to the show Billions, in the hedge fund, they have this chick that's their psychologist, right? What she does is she rewires them, right? When they start to feel incompetent, when they start to feel like they're about to lose money and they're scared of their trades and they're not sure of themselves, they're not confident, she rewires them. Right. And so we're completely rewirable and going to prison and waking up at 4:30 every day rewired me for the rest of my life. It would be almost impossible for me to break that habit. Number 4, being transparent. This radio podcast is pretty much an example of me being transparent, right? We're on here talking about habits that I created from going to the pen. But listen, when you're locked up with, 2, 3, 5,000 people, because some units, I went to like 9 different prisons over the years. Unfortunately. And when you're locked up with a lot of people and you can't go anywhere, right? Because you're all confined to the walls, right? You're all within inside this fence. And so if you start lying to people, you got to be a prolific liar. You got to be able to politic. You've seen it on Oz and all these shows, right? Where, like Sons of Anarchy is a good one. They'll go into jail and they'll, let you rape this dude if you'll stab this dude, like, lying about this to cover this and then lying about this. Like, dude, it's too much to keep up with. And I'm not smart enough to fucking deal with all that, nor do I have the stress level, nor do I want the stress levels in my life of dealing with it. So I just started telling the truth. Somebody asked me something, I'll just tell them the truth. Hey, man, did you see this happen, man? Dude did whatever, right? Or I just wouldn't talk at all. Be like, hey, man, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not a snitch, right? If in bringing that to the outside world, I feel like I'm still within that fence, right? Like there's nowhere for me to run. If I tell a lie, if I steal something, if I can't do, in prison, you can't do anything in the dark. And what I mean is you can't do anything in the dark, like you shit next to each other, you shower next to each other, you sleep next to each other. There's no private corner of the fucking building that you can go hide in and be alone. You're always around other people. So you know what, man, I just have this whole thing about being transparent. I don't do anything behind closed doors that I wouldn't do in front of the world. Because when you're in prison and you shit next to another man or you have to shower next to another man, like fuck, right? You're just completely transparent. And so I've carried that over. And a lot of people call it, oh man, Ryan, you're real, dude. You're authentic, man. You're as real as they get, man. I fucking love how you is. It's like, dude, it's refreshing to a lot of people because most people aren't transparent. They're dark as fuck, right? She's dark-sided. We were watching this like wife swap thing video yesterday in the Sales Talk with Sales Pro group. It's like this totally fat lady with short hair. She's like, she's not a Christian. That shit was fucking hilarious. But anyway, being transparent's gone a long ways. And like I said, people be like, dude, I love it because you're just real, man. And really all that is me being transparent. I don't have time or the mental capacity to keep up with telling people lies and not being on track. And B, I just don't give a fuck, right? If I say something and you don't like me or you don't agree with it, you don't like it, like that's cool, right? No big deal, but I don't give a fuck. Right? Kind of like Howard Stern. Like if you disagree with him, that's cool. You're more than welcome to have a disagreement, but that doesn't mean you're going to change his mind or that he gives a fuck that you disagree with him. I feel the same way, right? Howard and I, we're a lot alike, right? And the fact that we're both certain of what we want. We're both certain of how we deal with people. We're both certain of the type of people we want to deal with. Have we pissed some people off over the years that we shouldn't have? Yes. Did I piss some people off by being transparent in prison? Yes. But that's just fucking part of it, right? You're always going to piss somebody off. As a matter of fact, what happens is you spend all your life trying not to piss a bunch of people off, which allows you not to be transparent because you have to tell this story to John and this story to Jane. And then you just fucking one day you catch cancer, you fucking go to the hospital, all this fucking shit because you kept all these lies and stress and everything else inside. And then they end up being pissed off at you anyway because they found out you fucking lied. Not me, motherfuckers. I'm supposed to tell it like it is up front and fuck get all the pain over with. It's like, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is most days is go work out, right? Well, it's not the first thing, but I mean, that's like the first activity that I had to. Early in the morning, I'm trying to work out, right? Get it out of the way. Working out's painful to me, right? Fuck sweaty, hot, takes a lot of energy, it's draining, right? Especially the way that I work out. So I get that painful experience out of the way up front. I treat relationships the same, being transparent. I would just rather fucking say whatever it is up front. And if they're mad at me, cool. At least we didn't build a 5-year bond and I lose them. At least I just fucking got rid of them up front and they got rid of me up front or whatever the case was, right? We didn't spend 5 years lying to each other. Like that's what happens with a lot of people that get married, right? When they're dating, they don't ever reveal who they are. They're not transparent. And then when they get married, they get all comfortable. They start being transparent. You're like, who the fuck is this person? How the fuck did I get stuck with them? And then divorce happens, right? So I'd rather just be transparent up front and then not get married to begin with, metaphorically, right? Last but not least, abstinence, right? The fifth habit that I formed is abstinence. And it's not even really a habit. Like I didn't create a habit of abstinence. I'm definitely not abstaining from sex now. I'm sure you guys have seen my fiance, that's like impossible. But the thing is, right? Shout out to Amy. But the thing is like going without sex is no joke. And when you go without sex for, you're in your 20s, right? When your sex drive's at all-time high. And you're not able to, touch a woman. Like, dude, I didn't touch a woman at all for 2 years. All right. Sounds fucking weird saying that, right? Like, I never had the touch of a woman until she put the lotion in the basket, which might be why I was in federal prison to begin with, bitches. No, I'm just playing. So, got all a little weird on that real quick, right? But here's the thing, like with abstinence, when you can control your urges, right? When you can control your urges and when you can go without sex and without the touch of the opposite sex, or even in prison, man, you ain't hugging and fucking dapping dudes and shit like that. It's like you give them the head nod, right? Yo, what's up? Right? Like you ain't like, oh, dude, and give them a hug. Oh, man, I miss you. Like you were at visit for an hour. No, you're around motherfuckers all the time. You're like, don't touch me, yo. Like only time you touch another man's you help him lift weights or basketball or, some shit like that, right? Like contact sports stuff, not just like hanging out. Ain't nobody holding hands with the gay dudes in there, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's just not how I get down. So going without sex for 2 years, two different times, right? I had to learn to be able to control, right? So most people, they let sex control them, right? They'll cheat on their significant others. They'll be led away. They'll go through an endless, supply of chicks one after another, or dudes one after another, trying to find this, that, and the other, trying to be satisfied, right? Well, in there, I don't need that satisfaction. Do I love sex? Absolutely, but I don't need it. Right. And to most people, it's a basic human need. I mean, it is a basic human need to me too, but I know that I don't really need it because I have gone without it before. Right. So how that translates over is sex is really a lot of our communication, right? Like a lot of NLP has to deal with sex. Like in NLP, they teach mirroring, right? If somebody nods their head, you nod their head with them. If somebody's breathing a certain way, you breathe and get your alignment with them. That's all stems back to the lovemaking ritual of humans, right? How fucking scientific did that sound, motherfuckers, right? But that's all related back. If you match breathing, you think about when you're fucking your old lady or your old man, right? Y'all are usually breathing at the same pace, heavy breathing, hearts going together. Y'all got a rhythm going together. So when you're nodding your head with somebody else, that's like a deep psychological, as weird as it is, you'll never be able to nod your head in agreement with somebody at the same time again of the same sex, right? If you're not gay. But as weird as that is, that's where that comes from. And so when they're having those inner instincts to agree and nod their head and shit like that with you or me or whoever's doing the selling, even from video, right? I know that if somebody tries to do that to me, I don't have to match that pattern. I can still be broke free from thought because I don't need the shit. That basic human need is it's a want for me at this point and not a need. So crazy how that works out. Like I said, abstinence is not a fucking habit over here in the Stewman house, but it's something that is a control mechanism that's really helped me out in negotiations, doing business with people, selling people, training teams, all that stuff. As crazy as it sounds, like I said, we can be rewired and we're wired a certain way. And when you go without things for a while, you know, if you, like when I was in prison, last thing here, I switched from Coke to Diet Coke, right? It's like less calories. If I'm gonna drink a couple Cokes every day, it's like 500 calories. And so I just switched to Diet Coke, right? That's like 0 calories. Same amount of liquid, same taste, 0 calories. At first, it was like, oh man, Diet Coke tastes like shit, right? After a week or so, it's like, okay, I'm just used to it. I like it, right? I've rewired my tongue to like it, right? My taste buds to like it. After a month, I try a regular Coke and I'm like, wow, this tastes like shit. It was equally as bad as the Diet Coke was a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, right? So what I'm saying is everything about us is rewirable. If you're fat, you can lose weight. If you sleep late, you can start waking up early and you can rewire yourself, right? If you're insecure, you can rewire yourself to be confident. If you're scared, you can rewire yourself to be brave. We can rewire ourselves to do anything. So if you don't take anything away from this show today, take away the fact that whatever habits that you have that are holding you down, you can rewire them. So with that being said, let's talk about the 5 things, okay? Number 1, assuming everybody's out to get me. Number 2, creating a schedule, sticking to it. Number 3, waking up early. 4, being transparent. And 5, abstinence. So here's the deal. If you want to get the show notes, go over to hardcorecloser.com and just go at the very top. It says podcast. Click on that. You'll find the replay of this podcast there on the website. Also, make sure that you do me a solid and go ahead and sign up for Clixo.com, CLYXO.com. You can see my profile at CLYXO.com/closer. And while you're there, it takes less than 2 minutes to sign up. It's free. And what Clixo is, it's mine. I own it, right? I own the technology. You can get an app. It's in the App Store as well. Just search CLYXO in your Apple App Store. We don't have it in the Play Store yet. But here's the thing with Clixo, right? When you're on a show like this, you try and tell people, hey, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, find me on Snapchat, find me on my website, like all that shit. Fuck it. All you have to do, sign up for Clixo and be like, find me on Clixo, CLYXO/closer. And as more and more people know about Clixo, we'll just say, find me on Clixo, I'm Closer. Find me on Clixo, I'm Ryan Dizzle, right? Like you'll just have your handle, kind of like nobody says go to Reddit/r/ everybody just says R marketing, R sales, right? That's how it is. So we'll build that same type of language into it as we grow. We got about 2,000 users right there. So here's the cool part. I've got an SEO team working on this. So you can enter your information in there and it's really, really, really good for showing up on Google, and especially for your name so they can find you right there where they need you. The other thing is, you can still get whatever URL you want. There's only 2,000 users. That means there's a lot of usernames still available out there that you could scoop up for your company, yourself, future endeavors, troll accounts, celebrities, whatever the case, right? So something to seriously consider. Go to Clixo.com, CLYXO.com, sign up. /closer is my personal profile. You can sign up there as well. So, hey, thanks again for listening. Make sure you share this on social media. Leave a review on iTunes. Hit the like button if you're watching this on Facebook. Hit the share button if you're watching this on the Hardcore Closer blog. And we just appreciate your time. Let's go make some sales, closers.